I am so pleased to be here tonight, and I am thrilled that the people that I care about the most could be here. My son Nick, my mother-in-law Nadine, my brother Troy and his wife Angie, my dear friend Brett. Never did I imagine that I would be standing before you nominated as Teacher of the Year by a young colleague of mine, Melissa Magliola, supported enthusiastically by my principal, Vera Vaccaro, and El Camino colleague, Andrea Grover, and introduced by a former student, Janice Pope, who is now a teacher herself. Education is truly cyclical and infinitely rewarding. And so as I reflect, I thought of my own English teacher when I was a senior in high school. Her name, Diane Bettis, brought to my English class the most passion I had ever seen in any of my years in school. She came to senior English so imbued with a desire to share her love of literature, specifically Shakespearean literature, that I could not help relating to her immediately. She brought to the class artifacts from her travels. The walls of her room were covered with Shakespeare's photos, letters, plays, sonnets, biographical information. Ms. Bettis's energy and passion for teaching was palpable. When we began Macbeth, I was a bit overwhelmed by the language, and I thought I could never truly understand the historical context or deeper meaning. But we listened to Broadway productions. She showed scenes of the tragedy, and she read aloud from the text with such vehemence and passion that the entire class began to love Shakespeare as she did. Diane Bettis had an everlasting impression on me, so much so that I pursued an English degree and then a teaching credential. I asked her to be my third phase master teacher, and she agreed. And I was lucky enough to work with her as a colleague for an entire year. During this time, I knew that I had found my calling. I had an opportunity to influence other young people and to instill in them that which Diane Bettis had instilled in me, a tremendous joy found in literature. But I soon discovered that teaching was so much more. George Bernard Shaw points to the reciprocity found in teaching. Quote, "I'm not only a teacher, but also a fellow traveler of whom students ask the way. I pointed ahead of myself as well as you." This opportunity to interact, to be both the teacher and the student, is unique in this field of education. Frequently, students bring new insight and perspective to ideas, issues, themes that I might have become complacent about. Their observations about literature, characters, and conflicts are grounded in relatively limited life experiences. However, these young students, in many cases, have seen aspects of life that are often new to me. And it is through their eyes and their observations that I'm able to expand my frame of reference and to look upon material in a new and refreshing light. Students remind me that teaching is a journey for both the pupil and the educator. Teaching defines who I am, not merely what I do. Goethe understood the importance of teaching. He said, "Treat people as if they were what they ought to be, and you help them to become what they're capable of being." I believe that we as teachers cannot merely expose students to standards. We must empower them with knowledge and encourage them to apply this knowledge. Only when students feel safe and secure in their learning environment will they attempt to reach beyond their basic expectations and strive to achieve goals that they may not even imagine for themselves. And sometimes my role is just merely to imagine, to dream with them, and in sharing aspirations with them, in providing an arena in which they can achieve these goals, students become what they're capable of being. Because learning is an innate part of humanity, and students must be challenged, supported, and encouraged. And it's my responsibility as an educator to provide those challenges, to promote risk-taking, to foster growth, and to encourage exploration. Sherwood Anderson said the whole object of education is to develop the mind. The mind should be a thing that works, and students are up to this challenge. My role is to support and guide them in the journey. So many times in the past 23 years, Students shared that they felt confident in their ability to pursue more challenging classes. And in the years that followed, I took personal satisfaction in seeing students challenge themselves, confident in their abilities to take risks, to enroll in advanced placement classes, to run for class president, to establish a club, to volunteer in a local hospital, to apply to Harvard, to pursue a teaching credential. I could not be more proud of Janice, and I know that she too will have a profound effect on her students. She will leave an indelible mark on the youngsters she teaches, and one day I fully expect that Janice influenced another student to become a teacher, and the journey begins anew. In treating students as if they were what they ought to be, teachers help them to become what they're capable of being. By learning, you will teach. By teaching, you learn. And this Latin proverb defines my teaching philosophy and reflects the true intent of education. And I am grateful to be a part of such a profound experience, and I am privileged to work with such bright young minds. Thank you.